What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. And if you're like us, this is a daylight saving time hangover episode because, oh my goodness, I feel a bit out of whack. I don't know about you all, but you know what? We are here to talk about anime and all kinds of nerdy fun stuff. So we're excited to be here anyway, even though it just feels weird, right, Katie? What about
It's
you?
hella weird. It is super, super weird. We're lucky to be here. We're lucky we're here vaguely on time. There in Girl Scout camp, we had a sort of wake up song for the early mornings that was about being alive, awake, alert, and enthusiastic. I managed the first two today. I'm alive and I'm awake. Alert is a long way off, and enthusiastic is, well, actually, I really do enjoy this show.
That's true. That's fair.
It was hard to be enthusiastic during the workday, though. That was it's a whole other ball of wax. But yeah, so that's the on DST. Can you make alive, awake, alert, and enthusiastic? And the answer is maybe.
Well, we are enthusiastically excited. Sure, we'll go with that.
Take it.
That you all are watching, and if you're watching live, join us in the live chat. And if you're watching later, no worries. Comment down below your thoughts on what we're talking about. So we're talking about episodes. Now we're up to 5 and 6. So only that of Ranking of Kings. So do not go past that, please. I know it's been out, but we're just going through it. Also give you our quick thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen movies, or the new movie that came out. So, or coming out. Sorry, this is how much my brain is like. Bleh.
What day is it? What time is it?
Other things that we're excited to talk to you about it. We got Giga Derek in the chat saying, "Hey, yo, what's up?" Yes, welcome. And I'm gonna keep adjusting and play with my setup, and I'm like, my setup's really far. So I'm like, wait, look at the monitor. There we go. I'm Carrie Lane. Happy to have you all here and joined by me
Katie
this way.
Cullen. Hi, all my buddies. We're here. It happened.
Woo! All right.
Yep.
It's one of those things. And then, like, side note, funny thing. I want to say, I don't know how, but it kind of ended up, I feel like I'm eclectic art teacher vibes going on with the color and the glasses, but I'm like, I will take it.
Well, and I usually bother, like, I put on a nicer shirt and I try to do a little more at, like, no, I'm wearing what I wore today. This is my athletics owned by gladiators, shields up shirt. It's the Heather Gray unisex look. But Overwatch 2 beta next month. So it's relevant. We're all still happy to be here. I have no idea who's on the lineup for teams right now, except for Shock, because they just did an exhibition match with, I want to say, O2 Blast. And it's all going to be completely insane. And your 5-man meta is just going to go nuts, because who even knows what the meta is going to be for Overwatch 2. But we have dates. The beta is going to be open for God and everyone in late April. It is, the teams currently do have access to it, so they're practicing. And we start League on May 5th? May. Regardless, it cannot come soon enough, and I am very happy. So this is my happy place right here.
And it's also essentially things you're excited about.
Yes, and also gaming.
Yay! Yeah, I was like, where is that? And that one! Yay!
We know what Katie's here for. We're here for Sojourn being playable and Zenyatta getting a hoodie. He went hoodie shopping with Genji. It's great. New character designs.
I was going to say, I don't play, so I'm like, all that is a bit, but that's okay.
That's okay. Once League starts, you're going to be pulling up that gaming banner a little more often, because I will be going off on the week's matches.
Absolutely, go for it. My nerd representative, I got my Pamu. I'm all saying her whole name. I'm like, Curie something. I'm sorry, I forget right now. My brain's not fully, it's just not going. But anyway, she came to Los Angeles, and I was so happy to see her concert. So that's what I chose for today with that. But speaking of that, so things we're excited about. I think we could get right into Ranking of Kings unless there was something. Oh, well.
The Jujutsu Kaisen movie.
Yes, I was like,
there was something we were going to talk about. Right? What was it? Only the thing that Funimation / Crunchyroll is rolling out, like, y'all, watch this. And I finally sat down and watched the trailer and like, damn.
Oh,
Damn.
okay. Well, I think I was thinking more of like, wait, am I talking about this after or before Ranking of Kings? I'm like, no, we do these as before.
We do these before.
Yes. It's one of those things. And now I have my keyboard away from me, so I can't type out my banner, but it's okay. We are excited about it. We are very excited.
Yes.
The new Jujutsu Kaisen 0. So it is a prequel movie. So if you've never seen the show, do not worry. You can totally go watch this movie and enjoy it. And if you're somehow not familiar with the franchise at all, it is a dark fantasy, a little bit of horror, very shoujo fighting vibe. But I think
Shonen.
Shonen. But you know what? Shoujo in the sense that friendship and relationships is still very important in this show. And it is very pretty.
Yes.
Yes.
And the Sakuga is something else.
Yes, the fighting is phenomenal. So back to, if you haven't watched the show, don't worry about it. You will still get what's going on because it is a prequel. If you have seen the show, there will be cameos, some certain characters you like. So I think it's interesting please comment later when you see it, your thoughts. I mean, no spoilers, but if you've seen it, it's cool because you're like, oh, hey, people I know. But I'm really curious about the people who haven't seen the show. Go watch the movie. And then when those people come in the show, they'll be like, hey.
It's these people.
Yes.
I know them.
If you hear that squeak, that's my dog playing with a toy. She's like, hey, excuse me.
Do we record from home? Yes, we do.
We do record from home. Thus, pseudo my kitchen setup. Thank you for you all. But you know what? Technology, yeah, we can bring this to you. So there is that aspect of it. So again, if you haven't seen it, don't worry about it. And if you have seen it, it's also great just to be back into that world because, it's such a great show. And you're like, man, we have to wait so long for a season 2. # first world problems. But this is like, yay, we get a bit of it. Stay through the credits. There is a post-credit scene. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but stay through to it because there is something there. The other thing is, I did think it's really interesting in the movie. We get at least a backstory on one character, I would say, like a lot of context, and then some small bits of context history on other characters that were like, oh, okay. Like it's not as much character development because, it's just a movie, but it's I feel just does it a disservice. But, it's a movie, and generally in the show, you get a bit more time to expand upon those topics. Yeah. So it is cool, though, in the show that there's little tiny things that the movie's like, oh, by the way, about this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I do highly recommend, like, if you're a Jujutsu Kaisen fan, why wouldn't you see this movie? Of course, go see it. It's beautiful. The fighting's awesome. It's a really cool, interesting story. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but there's just some really deep subject matter they explore, which, I mean, they do that in the show as well. So it's great to have that in the movie. And it's also a good excuse. Bring your friends. If they haven't watched the show yet, you're like, guess what? You can watch the movie and get in the show with you or get into it with you. And seeing it on a big screen would just be like, oh, because it's so beautiful. So yeah, go check it out. Comes out on March 18th. So that's this Friday, very, very soon. It is sub and dub. So you get your choice. You can go watch both. And also the other big thing, excited about, it'll be up probably hopefully tonight or tomorrow. So check back at the Fanversation channel, which you're at here. There will be interviews with a lot of the English voice cast. So stay tuned for those. Very fun things. Teaser on it is some questions were asked of what curse art fighting style the actors would choose for themselves, what they think their characters would do for spring break, and more. So, I always love asking fun questions. It's a great way to see, get to know the actors and look at their characters maybe a different way. So stay tuned for those interviews. And and also go check out Jujutsu Kaisen movie. It's super cool. And thank you so much, Crunchyroll, for screener on that. And then also, if you missed it last week, I showed off the, Gojo box and the manga. So go check that out if you missed it. And again, thank you to Crunchyroll.
Yes. Thank you, Crunchyroll, for doing the thing.
Yes. We love the thing. We love the anime. And
yes.
It's like
good things.
Yes.
It's just all good things. All good things.
Yes. Katie, anything you wanted to talk about for things we're excited about?
I already did.
Okay,
we talked about Overwatch League for a hot second. I took over.
Yes, with blood into gaming and things they're excited about, which
Yes.
is great because, hey, they overlap. It's good. It's all good things.
I am forever excited about Overwatch League, and for all y'all who have never watched it, start watching with me this season. They're playing on Overwatch 2. It's going to be a little wild. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I am fully expecting some upsets given the massive meta changes now that we've gone from a 6-player comp to 5 players with a single tank. So it's going to be nuts. Even if you are not fluent in Overwatch League in any capacity, you should join me. I wrote a primer actually a while ago that's available on Fanversation if you want to dive into the gaming tag and get that. It is a couple of years back. It still talks about goats meta, so I may need to do another one for the new season. But yes, join me, pick a team, root for them. It'll be great. We'll come up with stupid rivalries because that's what you do in sports. It'll be fun. You are muted.
You know why? I muted it while I was taking a drink, and then I didn't turn that back on because I was like, I don't need you. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's an ASMR thing some people enjoy, but I don't need you all to hear my slurp. Which, funny, BTS and full disclosure stuff, I'm going through and editing my interview, and I often do it where essentially I will talk to future self, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, of if I have a blooper or whatever, which is always fun to see. But definitely the parts where I'm like slurping my water, I'm like, oh, delete those from the timeline. I was like, let me mute that. And I'm like, oh yeah, that.
But you need to come back.
This is true. This is very true. All right, let's get back to, I'm like, where's my mouse? There it is. Okay.
It's here somewhere.
Yes, I found it. Okay. The other thing we're excited about. I give a sigh there because which is if you saw it on our Twitter, I found the perfect gif where it's Kage and Pochi, and they're like, man, I know it is a 2D animation, but watching these characters get teary-eyed and sad makes me want to cry too. And I'm just like,
we need to start watching 3 episodes per week because there are 21 of them out right now, and I'm not a patient woman.
You know what? We could bump it up. Please leave comments, people. We do not mind adjusting that. Also, this too left us on a bit of a cliffhanger that was like, well, we were not left on a cliff last time because we got kicked off one.
Yeah, we got yeeted straight off the cliff. Goodbye, everybody.
Which,
okay.
Did you like the explanation of how he survived? Because at first I was like,
yes.
How the heck did he survive that? And then it's like,
that honestly did not. I feel like I said this last week that Kage is somewhere around. Yes, I feel like I called that he had not wandered off on his own.
Well, also it was this is another example of the show intelligence in terms of we literally were just talking about, wait a minute, how could somebody steal that bag and not steal any of the contents? And then the show goes, hey, remember when the bag was stolen? Kage was in it. And I'm like, oh, awesome, thank you. That makes so much more sense because at first I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Also, the revelation that the meat was poisoned before the daggers got into it.
Yes.
Okay, that was Domas's first try.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we get Tang in the chat says Boji and Kage reunited was so sweet. Oh my goodness.
Stop crying. Stop crying. It's like, no, we're all crying.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's okay to cry. Let the emotions out. Don't bottle them up. And it's just so sweet. And then it's so cute of Kage trying to make him laugh. He's like, you look silly when you're crying.
Here, I made you a crown so you look more like yourself.
And then it blows away and he picks it up. Yes.
Yes. Can we talk about the cursed gas? And the revelation that it didn't kill them because they were both already cursed.
Another thing we knew it, about,
but now we know it.
Well, Kage, I was like, oh, okay. I hadn't thought anything about him being cursed. We hadn't seen a hindrance of any kind. But we were wondering, we're like, well, why is Boji as the older sibling so small?
Baby.
Why is his development so slow? And I mean purely in growth. I kind of hope they keep the deafness that's not part of the curse.
Yeah.
And let's just that exists. It's more just his physical stature being stunted is part of a curse of like, well, his father's a giant. I don't understand how he's
and
not,
so
like,
is his mother.
Yes. It's like, wait a minute. At least his father was half giant, so
yeah, well, Daida being normal person size, like, makes sense if he takes after his mom, and just from, like, hair color, it looks like wow, words. Thank you, DSD. It looks more like Daida takes after his mom, and Boji might take after his dad or his mom. We don't know. But getting that flashback of younger Daida and seeing him drawn in the same way as Boji, I think really drove home the point of, oh yeah, Boji hasn't been able to grow up. He's stuck in the body of like a 4-year-old. Maybe.
So I guess the question is the one who cursed him and why? Like, to what end? You know, was it someone going after the king? Was it somebody wanting to, you know, further the growth of the second child?
I mean, keep in mind that the king had a demon in him. And we don't know how long demon was there. So that could have been part of it.
This is very true.
We have no idea.
Yeah, I like that. That reveal was so cool and interesting, and it's
fucking
like,
weird.
oh, very weird. That king was also weird.
Just like, great. No, I meant that the demon being in the king was a weird reveal.
No, that too.
Kage talking about, oh yeah, he's cursed. He's an assassin in a different form, and I'm like, so is this just him specifically being cursed, or was his whole ass clan cursed, and that's why there's shadow puddles?
That is a very good question.
I don't know the answer. That's why I asked it.
I think my train of thought was the cursed gas. I know. I'm like, thank you everybody for watching and going along with our quirky oddness. We appreciate you so much. But you know what? I feel if you're watching us, you probably have something similar, or, you know, so hopefully you relate to it. And we hope kind of showing that honesty of everything is helpful.
Believe me, at this point, someone's got a drinking game, and they're taking a drink every time I put something on the board, or lose a sentence, or your dog shows up, or like something.
Oh my gosh, if you guys have drinking games on us, please tell us. That'd be so funny. Oh my goodness, that'd be hilarious. We got John Knight in the chat. Yes, hello. Hi, ladies. Yes, hello. So sorry, I was saying the train of thought was the poison gas, them being cursed and meeting that king, and poor Kage like, yeah, it's a guy his name starts with, and it's like, wrong dude. Oh, you want his brother.
I did. I kind of love the, did you read this letter? And I'm sitting here going, isn't that a wax seal? You deliver sealed things sealed. No, he didn't read the letter. You know, just one of those like,
he did his job. He didn't like go against the rules. Then
King of inferiority complexes
says, it's me. I'm playing the drinking game. Yay!
Well, you best send me the rules then.
Yeah, what are the rules? We want to know. Also, I'd like to give the shout out. Yes, thank you, John Knight. Said nice glasses, Carrie. Thank you. This is my eyeballs are like, you know, not today for the contacts. And so I was like, I'll do the glasses. And then also, all the pieces coming together. I was also going to make the kind of pseudo reference joke of like, I got my, I want to say Mika glasses for Jujutsu Kaisen. There's a character who wears glasses. I was about to tell you why. And I'm like, wait, if you haven't watched the show. Anyway, she wears glasses and there's reasoning behind it. It's very cool.
Why is she wearing glasses? Because she needs them. Ta-da!
You know, but that statement works in more ways than one. So
I do. But generally speaking, the answer to why are you wearing glasses is I need them to see.
I'm like, I would, for the purposes of this, I can see my the lens. I would not be able to read the comments in the chat. I'd be like, this is a blur. But anyway, so yeah, the king. I really dug the palace guard people.
They
were really nice and funny.
Who is that person? I would like to keep them. I'm very sorry that they didn't get a name and just kind of NPC'd for an episode up in here because yes, please. I like the captain of the guard. I like the captain of the underworld guard. They're great. They're great. I
Yeah.
want to keep that one. I'm here for it.
And
I
I like
am here for it.
they're kind of drawn almost kind of comedically too.
A little bit.
Not that anybody in the show is more or less comedically drawn, but something about it seemed more like, I don't know, like a
The
toy.
huge,
yes,
the
the
huge
bigness
barrel
seems like
chest and the little arms and the little legs, like
a big teddy bear or something like that.
Yeah,
that was kind of the vibe of the character's really nice. You're a dangerous role, but you're very friendly.
It's like, oh, I want to go have drinks with you. You sound great.
And they'll play the drinking game. Or some other things. And then we have. What were some other things that stood out for you?
Just Dessa. Just Dessa as a whole. The king of the underworld, number 2 in the ranking of kings. We have no idea who the current number 1 is, except that he's probably either insane or disappeared.
Well, the question is, how often do they do the ranking? Because wasn't Boji's father number 1?
3.
And he only... Oh, he was 3.
He was 3.
Thank you. Okay. So, then who's number 1?
Because they made the point last week in episode 3 or 4, don't remember which one, that whoever's number 1 gets to pick something from the divine vault, and then they always either go missing or lose their minds. Hence me making jokes about, I knew I should have taken the Tome of Madness out of there. Why do they keep picking that?
Mm-hmm.
And again, going for there is something massively wrong with this world or something real hecked up about it. And the kings that go, the kings that disappear or, just yeet their brains into oblivion, do so because they cannot handle the knowledge of what the world actually is. Hence the scrapped princess sort of prediction. So, that one's still got like a nice little pin in it up in here, and we're just keeping it there. Because I don't know if we'll ever get that answer, but we're just keeping it there.
I was going to say, because he's our best boy, Boji, I'm like, oh yeah, there was an entire plot line with his brother. That
was fucked up.
That was weird. And like, Ice King made into a smoothie, and he's all, no. And I give him one drop of respect that he goes, Mir, I don't trust you. I'm not going to drink it. And I was like, okay. This maybe the only time you've questioned the mirror, because maybe you should do it more often. Like,
it's so wild. I was talking about this series with someone on Saturday night because there was a birthday party and friends and all that good stuff. And we were talking about it, and I told him, yeah, it's Miyazaki with a weird edge. And he went, you're right. And I'm like, yeah. And I think this entire sequence, and I think this was a sequence that I don't think it spanned 2 episodes. I think it was in our latter episode. I don't remember. This entire sequence of, all right, we're going to go down to the ice caverns, and we have the king. We have the king's frozen body, and we're going to extract the bone marrow and then put it in the sun, and then it hatches a phoenix, and then we're going to kill the phoenix and take the phoenix blood and burn the body and make the jewel and put the jewel in the smoothie, and that's what activates it. And it's just like, this is so weird. When you get into fantasy anime and fantasy stories, some of them get really into the buck-wild esoteric ritual of the magic or odd side of their fantasy, and some of them don't. And this is the buck-wild esoteric ritual. This is I have walked in on the highest level of a Scientology meeting, and they are doing some weird cult shit that I don't understand. Like, it's that sort of thing. It's watching this makes you feel like you shouldn't be there. It's fascinating, but there's also something inherently wrong about it. And it's so well done.
Yes. I just muted myself because speaking of my dog showing up, she just barked. So we got something in the chat says 1 order of king smoothie for Data.
Yick.
I was gonna say super funny random side note. I have done background work for in-house instructional videos for Scientology folks in the Inland Empire.
Yikes.
They just cast background people like any other, but you will never see it because it's just for their own instructional purposes and such. But they paid well and had good food, and then you're like, and leave.
Yeah, take the money and run. It's just for everyone who's like, oh, Scientology. I'm like, you can Google it if you want. It's hella made up and extremely predatory. So don't get in on it. And I was gonna say cult rituals, and then the Scientology joke was there, so I took it. Gordon Ramsay would not approve that smoothie. Yeah, look at the plating. Yeah, no, it's all just. And the fact that we have, and I cannot overlook this, that we took a dead body, made a phoenix out of it, when phoenixes are symbols of rebirth and resurrection, and then killed the phoenix so as to feed its assorted smoothied parts to Dida. Like, we straight up got the, you were right to refuse the smoothie. It's not going to give you his strength. It's going to do other stuff. And I'm like, all right. And also you threw a phoenix into the mix. What the fuck are you doing? What's happening here? Why a phoenix?
Also, speaking of like phoenix and unique creatures and Pandora's box, which we talked about, how much are we predicting all those creatures in there are going to be released or woken up or something?
Wild.
I was super concerned. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this frozen like they're dead and it's a corpse? Or is this like you're frozen and it's just, like cryogenically frozen? And if we unfroze you, whatever, you'd be back. So I'm like,
yeah. My guess is contained until needed. Because we saw that whole flashback with the Griffin and Appius? Spear.
Got another one.
Shake.
Giga Oh, damn. It's a protein shake. Yes.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also, oops, all cannibalism. Because, I mean, we may have turned Dad into a phoenix and then made the phoenix into food, but it's still Dad. This is still weird. Cannibalism. And once again, we are into the weird, fucked up occult practices. Again, this was super unsettling to watch, but also very, very well done because that was the point.
Also, did you notice that it seems that the mirror flashback, we've seen maybe a sense of their entity of someone from before, because also there was a shape that's similar to that person that was frozen. That I'm
frozen. Lady, it's like
this, so wake me up, come on, get me out of the frozen.
Lady Marja, Lady Manamana. I don't know. It's gonna be Lady Manamana until I can remember that name, because I do not remember that name.
Too. Tengen says those guys carrying the mirror were weird.
Yeah. Yes. This is part of what gave us that weirdo culty vibe.
And they'll just do anything for the throne, which also, quick side pivot on that. We got back to our gentleman our knight, essentially, who shoved Boji off the cliff.
Domas.
Like, whoops. Yes,
Domas.
I got to do the right thing. And then I want to say Hikage? No.
Hokuro.
Yeah.
That one I remember.
He was just like, no, you can't do that. I was like, oh, yeah, look at you trying to stand up to him. But I'm like, this is going to end.
I was expecting him to die.
Me too, 100%. I'm like, when he had the arms up to do the sword, I'm like, it's going to be stab, something. And no.
Because Domas is the number one swordsman in the kingdom. But I want to talk a little bit about that flashback that we had with Domas and Dida, because it's very obvious that Dida was not supposed to know about the little conclave that made him king, about that little meeting, because every time he brings it up, someone's like, how? Like, it's the mirror, guys. The mirror's spoiling things. But I love I wanted to rule with you by my side, but I guess that's a dream because you were supposed to be loyal to my little brother and you failed in your loyalty. So I'm going to give you a loyalty test, which involves you killing the person you're supposed to be loyal to.
This needs to go up on your board.
It's like a board point. It's just some fucked up circuitous logic that Dida can get away with because he's the king, and Domas is so freaking desperate to prove himself or to be. He's desperate for something, and I haven't quite figured out what that is yet.
Yep.
But he
Well, he needs
God,
a
he's a
hand
bad
now.
guy. Hey, and when he did the, follow through and sever my hand, it's like, oh no, you specifically want to be punished for what you have done because you don't understand. You think that your guilt is a weakness because you're a little tangled up inside. You're very tangled up inside, and you're going to need to have that nice little talk about loyalty versus your morals and how maybe you do need to go scream for a while because you think you just murdered your protege. So, like, yeah, punishing yourself by getting your hand cut off because that's the hand that yeeted the prince into the pit. Not helping anybody. Please go get that cauterized. I don't know what the medicine is like here. But like,
and
my dude,
does magic
not
exist
okay.
enough at all to adjust any of that? It's like
To give him back the hand, who knows? But
I don't know. We don't know enough of this world. There's like weird stuff all over the place.
well, here's the thing, and this is why I think it can't happen. We know that the queen is a healer, and the queen was not able to heal the head on the Hydra when she healed the Hydra. So I think it's the kind of healing magic where if something's gone, it can't replace it, but it can maybe stop you from like bleeding out.
Yeah, not dying that way.
Which again, like, hey buddy, get that taken care of. Are you just gonna throw the hand into the pit too?
And
that'd be disturbing.
Yes. We got oh no, Giga's attitude.
Derek. Oh no. I can't wait for Domas to come home without Hokuto or the king or his left hand and just be like, well, I'm here. It's like, okay, buddy. And to see things go wrong and however Daida is changed because we know the potion's going to do something. We just don't know what. Oops, all cannibalism. It's bad for everyone except for maybe Lady Manamana. Who,
yes,
I would not be surprised if her trying to free herself from the mirror is what frees everything else that's frozen too.
Yes, so that goes back to my thought that something's going to happen and let that out. And I think that will be then Boji's quest to collect them all. Card captor Sakura and bring it all back because it got open, though not his fault, but he's like, I gotta go get them.
Yeah.
But that might help his, skills. Oh, wait, skills. Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about his awesome fight with the captain of the guard. That was such a cool
it was
fight.
A dodge fight, but it was still just like, I love this. Now all we need is because like they continue to make the very good point that he can stay alive, but he can't win. And I'm like, that is when you give him a poison blade, nerds. He's already chilling with an assassin. Let's go.
Also, if you've watched anything with zombies, it's the staying out of the way, staying ahead, and not getting tired is what often saves you. It's not necessarily that you can land a blow. It's you need to be able to outrun your opponent and stay out of reach. And so if he's able to keep dodging. So I'm wondering, will he team up with Kage to be able to be like, all right, I fight doing something and then you help, or, some kind of team fight work.
And they keep talking about, like, evasiveness is not the right word, evasion. Dexterity, super high dex stat. It keeps getting brought up like, wow, he is abnormally good at this specific thing. And I'm waiting for that to become plot relevant because they do keep making a point of it. I'm waiting for it to be more relevant than this is the only combat related thing he's good at. But like
something more to it. Yeah. No, because it is, highest ninja level skill of like disappears and is somewhere else, and everyone's always surprised. That doesn't even see, it's beyond regular human capabilities. It's like, wait a minute,
in D&D it's a rogue skill. It's called uncanny dodge, where you could get the fuck out the way and take half damage.
Get out of dodge.
Yeah, there's like if you fail your dex saving throw, you can still uncanny dodge and like not die. It's great. Reasons to play rogues. You're a little squishy, but my god, the sneak attack damage.
Yeah, so he can't because Boji tried to hit the guard and didn't do anything. So
And that's also the thing. And this is another thing that I think like fits on the board somewhere, probably like over here behind the head. The kingdom is very young.
Mm-hmm.
Like King Boss's kingdom, we saw the flashback where he established it. He was already an adult. We don't know how long giants live. We don't know how long this kingdom has been around. Um, as old as Boji is, however much that is, and then older. So at least 20 years, probably more. But the thing is, that is extremely young for an established kingdom, especially for this kingdom has been around for, let's say, less than a century. Again, we don't know what a giant lifespan is. This kingdom has been around for less than a century, and its king is number 3 on the ranking of kings. Out of every king in the world, this guy came right out of nowhere and became number 3, just below the king of the underworld, and then whoever the heck else is at the number 1 spot. Like, so I'm looking at this kingdom and I'm looking at how everyone's freaking out about Boji not being a good successor and Daida wanting to come into things on his own. And you have to realize that this kingdom, its only legacy is King Boss because he's the one who started it. There is no long line of kings. There is no long line of traditions. There's no established anything because this kingdom is very small and very young. So I kind of want to keep that in mind every time a character starts talking about legacy and the strength needed to rule the kingdom and making changes and doing things their own way. Like there is no established tradition here. It's King Boss started this. He's gone now. What do? Wow. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind because I feel like that is not explicitly stated outside of we saw when King Boss formed the kingdom by destroying a shit ton of ogres and protecting a town. But just because it's not explicitly stated doesn't mean it doesn't figure into everything that is going on here. There's no way that's not at the back of everyone's minds. And I'm wondering if the kingdom is fragile, does it risk being absorbed by another more opportunistic kingdom since their king fell from rank 3 to rank 90? Like, how does this fit into the larger political spectrum? Does it even matter, or am I thinking a little too Game of Thrones here? But
well, I was just gonna say, yeah. I hope you're able to have these thoughts before today, because otherwise I'd be like, damn, your mind is working way more involved than mine right now. I'm like, yeah, that's a really good point. I think that is definitely something to say, that there must be something else going on, and this show isn't about just. There is context, there is scope. It's just being revealed to us very, very slowly.
Oh yeah,
and it's really interesting in that way of like, so what is next? You know?
Yeah, and we've seen flashes of other kingdoms, especially in Kage's backstory. We got the ranking guy pretty damn quickly after King Boss's death, actually. So the communication system here has to be amazing. Like
no
that Pony Express,
and no crows, but damn,
but that Pony Express is really fast.
Yes.
Or something. I don't know. There could be something else that we just straight up don't know about that they use for message delivery, because we live in a world where there was a clan of assassins who were Shadow Puddle people, and also the Soul Hoover. And literal hell's back door is in a city, and it's a pit. Like, we live in a world where all of this stuff is possible. So who says the Pony Express isn't a bunch of Pegasi? Who knows? Who knows?
I hope we find out how they spread news so fast, because that's true. It's like, maybe there's other magic mirrors they pass on the telegram?
Maybe
not.
I'm honestly down for Pegasi Pony Express. Like,
that'd be so fun.
I'm sure that's not the thing, but I want it now.
Yes. We kind of mentioned it, but good point. Tengen points out Boji did get sent to the king's brother, Despa, to be trained. So we do have that bit where he's at this place to possibly, hopefully get trained. And how do you prove yourself? And you gotta love Kage being in his corner, like rooting for him constantly and being his hype man of like, no, you don't understand. This kid is so good. Here's the skills. So I was like, we all need that kind of a cheerleader. It's like, yay, thank you, supportive friend.
You have to see him dodge. That's what he's good at. Check this out. And I love that that's what brings the head of the Underworld Guard over to his side. Like, well.
He's like, okay, you got some skills. Yes, you do. Yeah.
Then we have Dessa's inferiority complex around Despa, which, let's be real, it's because Despa's pretty.
Yes, I was gonna say, look at that matchup of like super pretty sparkles. See, I was when I said shoujo earlier. Here's another example: super pretty sparkles.
It's one of
the
those
more quirky character.
It's one of those, I don't want to be like incongruously pretty. It's like they made a very big deal about this man having a very pretty face. And then you look in comparison to his brother, whose mouth comes out to here at all times.
And his teeth are right here and the mouth is here. And it's like,
I would not be surprised if other people compared them. I would not be surprised if Despa doesn't even think about it, and Dessa is the one who's just like, I hate it so much. I wouldn't be surprised if it was all on Dessa's side.
It definitely could be, and maybe that's a part of why he has an issue, and that maybe that drove him to be number 2. Like drove his ranking that he wanted to be. Yeah. We got
but also someone got to rule the underworld.
Yes. You know what? That's similar back to our mythology thing in the Hades cartoon of, Hades isn't thrilled to be ruling there, but someone has to do it. So it's true. Back to drinking game. John Knight points out, Wolf. Yes, that's Fizzgig yelling, going, hey, I'm in the background. I'm still here.
There's my cat's behind this screen eating her dinner. I can hear the little cling, 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 cling of her tag against the bowl.
Yeah.
Cat does not go outside. Cat is still chipped and collared because I'm a responsible pet owner. Anyway, always microchip your pets. Always microchip your pets. Even if you don't think they're going to go outside. Microchip your cat, microchip your dog.
Indeed. Yeah, Fizz is she's definitely there's someone outside. I mean, there are so many fun jokes about like as if it was a real person talking.
Yeah.
There's people outside. I had to let you know. There's someone. I heard him. I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen
You've
those.
done your job. You told me. Okay. So, and now she's coming over. She's like, you mock me, then I will come bother you. No.
Jail for mother for 1,000 years.
Were there any other particular moments that stood out to you that we haven't? I know, and then thank you everybody watching. I know we've kind of popcorned around on the different ideas.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of sometimes how you think of it. It's like, wait,
this
show
does
it to me.
There was a bit in because I'm not kidding about like the 4-minute vignettes for the storytelling. There was a bit in the second episode where it was the whole, we need to talk about Spear Guy coming in and attempting a murder. But there was a bit where that whole thing happened. We had him knocking out Daida. We cut back to Boji and Kage in the underworld looking at the statue of King Dessa, and I swear that scene was like 30 seconds long. And then we went back to the dad smoothie. And it's just like, did we just need a scene change? Is that what that was? You wanted a scene change back home, but you couldn't just do a Star Wars style side wipe? We had to. It was such a weird decision because usually when we switch back to something, there's a point to it and we hang out for at least a minute. But that was just 30 seconds of, wow, they must really hate this guy. He put his statue up and they punched its face in. Wow. Back to you, Bob. Back at the ranch.
Maybe that is the point.
I'm absolutely certain that the point was we need a scene change. But considering that it's the only time I remember them doing it, let alone doing it so obviously, it really stood out.
That's fair. Yeah, I was trying to think if there are any other.
But yeah, also Appius showed up and sure attempted to murder the king. That happened.
I don't think I I thought it was more he was showing a fight as a demonstration.
No, he was, as far as I could tell, he was fully planning on revenge, and then the mirror went, no.
Oh,
No.
not boss. For a second,
Not
I was
boss.
like,
No.
okay. For Dida, okay.
Yes.
For a second, I'm like, he didn't try to kill
we're talking about the end
king.
of the second episode.
Yes, okay. He's trying to kill the replacement king.
No, technically, Dida is the king now.
I
say technically, literally, like, Dida is the king
that's
now.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. And this, I know I've been jokingly calling him Joffrey Baratheon, but
it still fits.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
Watching this happen, for one, the whole, I'm not going to take the easy quest to power, remembering the lessons from Bebin about anything that's worth doing has a difficult path. If someone offers you an easy mode, it's not what it seems.
Yes.
Like remembering those life lessons and going, I'm going to do this on my own power. I'm going to be my own person. And then Appius, I will never pronounce this name correctly. It's too many vowels for me to get straight. It doesn't. I'm just very bad at this particular name. Spear shows up and attempts to do a revenge, is stopped by Lady Manamana in the mirror. And then she has to turn around and basically beg Dida not to kill him. And this was kind of the Joffrey Baratheon breaking point, because a Joffrey-style king would have done it, no hesitation. And I mean, let's be real, that's what kicked off the War of the Five Kings in Game of Thrones, was an execution that shouldn't have happened. Whereas Dida chose to show him mercy and unfortunately gets shellacked for it. Because loyalties are weird in this castle.
Yes. Well, that's also back with Domas, that he's like, well, as you said earlier, I was going to have you be my right-handed person, but since you like went against the person you were tutoring, no. It's like,
I need to test your loyalty by having you kill the person you're supposed to be loyal to. Like, are you 10? No, he's just trying to manipulate Domas and put a hit out on his brother. And the I am loyal to the king bit that Domas does, and Dida is now the king, and he voted for Dida to be king. Like, he is trying to redeem himself in Dida's eyes. So, not knowing that his string is absolutely being tugged. So yeah, it's everything is terrible for everyone except our main characters. They're doing okay in hell.
Go figure.
I love the show so much. The show is so weird, and I love it so much.
I love the, just random uniqueness of it, because then it does keep you guessing, that we can't really be like, that's totally going to happen next. It's like, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm so excited to be on this ride.
And again, I will continue to go back to this as here is my microcosm of weird stuff the show does that isn't even really plot relevant. Punji Pit, Dancing Wild King, Soul Hoover. None of it matters. It was a beautiful sequence. And also, I'm sure the lessons will come back at some point. But like, okay. I think I will probably,
Okay.
No, I think I will probably lose my mind if we see the Soul Hoover again. Just because I'm really not expecting it. Like, I don't think the Soul Hoover is coming back. And I think I will be doing some yelling if the Soul Hoover does indeed return. I will never call it anything but the Soul Hoover.
I would want to see you film a reaction of that, but you can't really do that. The whole point is you being surprised, so you can't really be ready. But you'll have to report back if you did.
If the Soul Hoover shows up, you will know.
You're like, so about
everyone following me on Twitter, like, what the fuck is the Soul Hoover, and why is she yelling about it being back? And those who follow on Twitter and watch the show going,
You'd be like, it came back, like you said.
Hey, it's the Soul Hoover. Is that your favorite character? No, it's a stupid joke.
Yeah.
It is a ecological and somewhat spiritual concept, and also a very stupid joke that I will not let go of.
We apparently have those every season. We had Gabriel last show, so
I will never regret Gabriel. I will never regret Gabriel.
I would say you don't have to. It's just there's always some. We'll see if there'll be another one.
There is always some instance of me trying to make fetch happen. There is. I won't let it go. It's really bad, actually. Anyway.
I think we're kind of covered everything we wanted to for Ranking of Kings.
Yeah, I think that's about everything.
Yes, not Ranking of Kings, but a thing that I was like, oh yes, but I put it in a different spot. So kind of rewinding to early Banner episode, and part of me as I try to awkwardly get out of frame and do a reach for something. Awkwardly, excuse me, there's my kitchen. Yay!
All right.
Yes, it's already another month. And we're almost out of this month, so what?
We're not almost out of this month. It's the 14th. It's Pie Day.
We're halfway.
Happy Pie Day.
Yes. So, I mean, per my schedule, if you get it, which they did it looks like they've done a rebranding, which I think is very cute and clean design, which is the new one. And they have it there too. Oh, yeah, I'm going to say forgive my show and tell if I show this awkwardly because my setup's a little different. But before I do that real quick,
just pop it open in front of you.
Day.
Yep, Pie Day. Happy 3.14.
Yes. My drinking game, one shot per joke.
Oh my god.
Oh, then we can
Derek, I need you to do this game in sips. Like a la Game Grumps Battle Kid episode 3. I need you to do this in sips because I will not be responsible for your death of alcohol poisoning. So please, if you are going to do a drinking game, please do it very responsibly.
Yeah.
With like an IPA or a glass of wine or some shit.
All right. Thank you. As I got resettled here. So,
all right. You need a little side table.
I have a side table in front of me, but it's also where my mouse is. So, and a cup of water. So I'm like, please don't spill things. So hello, spring. And all the boxes. Yes, there are some melon things.
That's what I will be stealing from you this time around.
Yes. These are this one is the premium crate. So you get all the things. There's the different ones. They have a mini and original and premium. You get everything. And speaking of melon, the special bonus item in this one is Melon Kitkat. Let's see if I can precariously hold this. Well, first of all, give you a kind of look inside without dropping everything. Yes.
They're always just so nicely packed. Everything fits in there so well. And it doesn't get all crunched around.
It's hard to put it back all night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so
that was me with the Sakura box.
There we go. Yes.
I will be stealing those.
Yes, ma'am. The cool thing I love about these Kit Kats, I love all the different flavors, but I like that these are all individually wrapped like a 2-pack. And so then that way it's easy to share or keep it for yourself and it won't go bad. And yes, very kawaii. We agree.
Yes.
Then let's just show you a couple other fun items. What is this one?
What's the drink this time? Isn't there always a drink in the premium
I always love
crate?
the drink. So this one I'm excited about. Ooh, it's hefty. All right. So this is Iron Soul Energy Drink. All these outdoor events call for some extra energy with ingredients like iron, arginine. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Caffeine and maca. This energy drink is sure to do the trick. Yes. I'm always excited when they do energy drinks. That's my jam. You had I think I was telling you last time, the milk tea that I'm like, all right, you can have that one.
Yeah, no, dibs. The energy drinks. I still have a can of Gamer Fuel in my fridge from like 3 months ago, and I haven't opened it because it kind of scares me. Or G Fuel, rather.
Cereal and chocolate fans will love these. They're addictive cornflakes, thickly coated in smooth milk chocolate, great on their own or in a bowl of milk if you're feeling extra. That is actually really interesting. I don't think I've seen them do something like that before. And we'll just do one more here. So for those liking the spicy and chips, we got mentai umai rings. Umai.
Umai.
Umai. Imagine umaibo cut into these rings with a delicious mentai cod roe flavor. Get silly with friends and stack them on your fingers like rings. You know you want to. That's fun.
Oh my God, it's like bugles.
Yes. I was like, wait, I'm sorry. There was one more that I wanted to show because it looked kind of cool and different. Giant strawberry caplico. Caplico? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. It may look like ice cream, but this chocolate-filled wafer cone topped with airy strawberry mousse doesn't melt. Perfect for any picnic basket. Fun!
I've had the tiny ones. Those are rich, man.
Yes. Speaking of our drinking game real quick, Gigadare says vodka and Coke, okay?
Sips.
Vodka.
Sips. Buddy, sips.
Yes. Yes.
Sips.
And then, so one more time showing it off.
Take care of yourself.
So thank you, Japan Crate. This is the March crate. So yeah, check them out. You can go find them on all the social media at Japan Crate. And I was like, hold up the logo in case you need to see it again, as I don't try not to spill everything.
Just yeet.
Yeet. Be like, yeet. I'm like, I'm just going to hold it. There we go. But yes, go check them out. It's always fun to try the different flavors. And I think we're still spring enough, so they still are having chocolate flavors. They don't do as many chocolate items during the summer because they're going to melt. So they got your back on that. And I'm like, that's actually really cool planning on their part.
Yeah.
I was like, that makes sense. Don't mail it to me if it's going to melt.
Yeah. You just open it up and it's this just flat. Like, okay.
You know, some candies and things, even if they melt, they still can be okay. But some stuff, yeah, once the texture is like, meh, meh, it is not quite the same.
I've seen like a melted and then reformed Kit Kat, and it's just kind of that oddly flat. It's fun. It's fun.
But yes, let me get back to. So speaking of fun, yes, it's been fun evening with you all on this day after daylight saving
DST.
time. Though I don't know why, but I'm used to saying daylight savings time, and I know that's not correct, but somehow that sounds better to my ears.
That's just
but
how it goes.
Yeah.
Like I feel you on that one.
Yeah. So and then yes, shout out to our chat. Giga Derek says drinking responsibly.
Good.
Yay.
For every drink, have a glass of water.
And then, John points out, arigato gozaimasu. Yes. Which also, quick little side tangent on that, I just wanted to share that if you are practicing Japanese, if you have a favorite Japanese restaurant, you could check to see if they actually do speak Japanese, but it's kind of a fun way to practice. And like, there's one that I love going to, and one of the server ladies I see constantly there. I just love trying to, practice what little I know, in an actual situation. And she's just like, come back anytime, even if you just want to hang out. You don't have to even order anything. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. And because, it's one of those
sweet.
You're trying. And like, that's what matters. So
yeah,
side note, because different language things, it's like, where can you practice it? And it's like, well, restaurants is a good spot to start. So, but don't assume they speak whatever language it is at whatever restaurant you go to. So you could always just ask, be like, oh, do you speak this language? Okay, cool. I just wanted to practice, Anyway.
Always check.
So thank you so much for watching and joining us this week at Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. Always a pleasure.
Were we going to do recommendations or are we done?
You know what? Do you have a quick one?
Yeah, I do.
Yes. Okay, wait, where'd it go? Looking. There you go. Thank you very much. It's that kind of a day.
If you haven't seen Turning Red yet, you need to see Turning Red. You need to. For those of you who have somehow missed the Disney marketing machine, because the Disney marketing machine has been going nuts on this one for good reason. Turning Red is the latest Disney Pixar feature. It's not in theaters. It is on Disney Plus, but it's not on Disney Plus Premium. So you don't have to pay an extra $30 or whatever. As long as you have a Disney Plus subscription, you can watch it. It is about a young Chinese-Canadian girl named May, growing up in Toronto, 13, so that's super fun age, whose family has a spiritual connection with red pandas, and when they get emotional, they turn into red pandas.
And giant ones, too. Not
giant red pandas. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's... It is such a great story, and there was a review released early where a guy, I can't remember the site, but like the head editor of a rather large movie reviewing site pretty much said that it was unrelatable because he wasn't in it. So a lot of the reviews have I appreciate that so many of the reviews that came out are this is extremely relatable. If you have ever been through puberty in your life, this is extremely relatable. This is even more relatable if you grew up female, if you were socialized as a woman or, hit puberty as a woman. Yeah, it very much had that 13-year-old girl experience with the drawing things in your notebook, or if you're not an artist, writing fan fiction. And it was also very good at depicting the double life that every kid with a strict parent leads. Because, yeah, like her mom is very strict and very, and I didn't quite have that relationship with my mom to that extent, but I definitely saw the bits of, oh, this is something my mom wouldn't like that I'm into. We're just gonna hide that. Or this is okay, we're just not gonna tell her what movie I'm seeing, what I'm talking to my friends about, etc. Like, and being super into the big boy band at the time. And just like, this movie is incredibly relatable if you have been through puberty at all, but it is even more relatable if you went through puberty as a girl. It's very much a coming of age story. It's very much from a female lens, which is great because we don't get a lot of those. And it is wonderful. It's a Pixar movie, so it made me cry twice, but it's a Pixar movie. But it's incredibly good. I was losing my noise during the climax for multiple reasons. Just highly recommended. Watch it. It's great.
And the other thing, though, too, is even if you don't relate to a movie, the whole point is to empathize and learn something then, though, too. Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
If I watch a movie about, I don't know, mystical dragons, I'm not a dragon, but I can still enjoy it. Like, what? I don't, so
it's very much a straight white male is still very much considered the default in entertainment spaces, and anything that pushes back against that is considered to not be for the quote unquote default audience, which is some bullshit, and also the reason why you should raise your sons on media not just about boys, but also about girls, and also about non-binary people, and everything. It's not boyish or girly. It's either. It's media. It's just focusing on different themes, and it's fine. But you want to raise your children with empathy. Also, this movie is the first time that I have straight up ever seen a Disney movie mention having a period. Like, that is the thing. Because, hey, coming of age told from a female lens about a young girl. That is a thing. They definitely talk about it. And I've never seen a Disney movie do that. And I am so impressed.
It's like, wait, things that exist, we're going to pretend it doesn't happen? What?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's been part of the pushback is like, well, I don't want to explain that to my son. And I'm like, really? How hard is it?
They're going to find out one way or another, and ignorance can be a problem later. So,
yeah. And I mean,
it could be a good way to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there has been some unwarranted pushback on this movie. It is very, very good. Highly recommend. Just, watch Turning Red. It is so good.
Only one I would say I've seen, I just finished recently. I finished the newest season of Marvelous Miss Maisel, season 4. It goes by really quick, but it's really good, and I hope we get more. And I think so. I think I read somewhere there'll be a 5th and final season. So if you haven't watched that, it's a really good show. And speaking of, it's a female character's lead, but just lots of other topics in it. Family, being there for your family is a great theme as well, and it's just a really good, kind of like an underdog feel good show as well. The other one too, I don't know if it's quite as recommendable in terms of access, but maybe if I find ways to share it, I will on my social media, which we'll be sharing in just a moment. But recently went to the Santa Barbara International Film Festival and watched a bunch of different shorts programs, which I really enjoyed. There was a whole block on animation, and there were some beautiful animation ones. And follow me on Twitter, because hopefully if I find those, I will share them, because that's sometimes the problem with short films is like you may or may not ever see it.
Yeah.
So that's why I do recommend, if you ever go to a film festival, shorts program, or your way to go, because you also get more bang for your buck because you get a bunch of sequences in one sitting. Unless the feature length film is something you're really, really into, but that'd be my personal recommendation. And also shorts are hard to find later. Yeah. That would be my recommendations. And now we'll get to the going to the end of wrapping up. So thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, click the subscribe button. Also, you're going to want to subscribe because, like I said earlier, there will be the Jujutsu Kaisen interviews with the English, a large majority of the English voice cast. So stay tuned for that. Super excited to share that all with you. And we're going. There we go. Got one more from the chat. I'm like, it's over here. Giga Derek says, I'd like to recommend the Uncharted movie, fairly faithful to the source material and more fun than I originally gave it credit for. Okay. Two things with that. It is a fun movie. Leave physics at the door.
Yeah,
there are moments that it's like, what? Also, my only kind of like, they're treasure hunters who don't really seem to respect history or treasure, and that kind of is like, like it's not like Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider where they're like, let's preserve this thing. They're like, grab it, break it, and you're like, ah! So
that's Uncharted.
That was okay. Well, I'm not as familiar with it, but also shout out to another tie-in, which we'll go to our, hold on, bring our banners, because this will be Finding Us. I will say for my lead in on that one in Uncharted, there is one of the treasure hunter ladies. Her name is Sophia Ali, and she is in a movie called India Sweets and Spices. And I interviewed the director of that film, and we do talk about her casting Sophia. So if you like Sophia in Uncharted, definitely check her out in India Sweets and Spices. She plays the lead character of a young woman who's back home from college and just dealing with family and, you know, maybe the secrets your family has that you don't know about. So that's a really cool interview, which you can go check. If you follow, there we go, me over here, Carrie D. Lane, I've tweeted about that and shared it. Katie, there we go. Where can people find you?
You can follow me all over the social medias, as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. That's right down here. Still working on getting some stuff going on the YouTube. The Twitter is the most accurate thing. The most accurate. The most active. No, Twitter is very rarely accurate.
That's
but the most active thing. So if you would like a window into the madness, follow the Twitter. It's a good time.
Window, yes.
It's there's you know, a blingy from 15 years ago with like the dripping red "Welcome to my nightmare" text over a GIF of a pentacle being drawn. I don't know. You know, the the 2005 scene.
Well, again, thank you everybody for watching. Joining us in the live chat. If you're watching later, comment down below, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
See ya. Bye.